It's time for the main event. It's the Shoe Shine.
Que onda, vatos locos? It's your boy Dave in the 702 coming at you for that Monday night boxing recap known as the Shoe Shine. Joining me all the way from the city of brotherly love, Philly Irish Drew Evo. Que pasa, homie?
Yeah, see, me and Dave finally match with the same height and picture and everything for once.
Straight up. Saludos to everybody joining us and on the replay later on. You know, we've been doing this vertical thing for a couple of weeks now, and finally the channel is growing. So Drew, Evo, and I are going to stick to the vertical until we hit our goal, which is obviously to have YouTube partnership. We're very close, so I do appreciate everybody hanging with us. Until then, we'll be vertical, and then we might hit you with the horizontal show too. So, anyways, it is an interactive show, and we do encourage dialogue. If you're new to the show, hey, if you like the show, hit us up with a like and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Without further ado, wow, it's been a crazy year for boxing, Drew. And this weekend we finally saw in Australia the return to greatness. Lomachenko, a first ballot Hall of Famer, did it all over again, Drew. After Devin Haney vacated the belts, I was at that fight, and I'm gonna be real. You know, I'm really defending Devin Haney and what's going on with everything regarding Ryan Garcia's PED potential usage, or he did use the PEDs. Man, I'm riding with Devin Haney on this, but he didn't win that fight. I was at that fight. My boy Fonzie, Carol, my wife. I did not think that Devin Haney won the Lomachenko fight. I was there. I had a great seat to it. You know, but
he clearly lost it.
And to think about it, Drew. All this bullshit going on in the sport right now because of Ryan Garcia's fight with Devin Haney, that wouldn't even have happened because there's no telling. Haney wouldn't have moved up. He probably wouldn't have fought Regis when he did. He wouldn't have taken the belt from Regis. I mean, it's crazy how, everything happens because of a reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even think Ryan Garcia would have fought Devin Haney had they just given the win to Lomachenko like he rightfully deserved. We'd be talking about Loma versus Shakur. We'd be talking about Loma versus Tank, and now Tank is talking Loma versus Tank. I love that. Gervonta Tank Davis is saying, I want Loma after the Frank Martin fight. Guys, June is the big fight. Frank Martin versus Tank Davis. David Benavidez is on that card. It's supposedly selling really well, and he says after that, maybe him and Loma can get it cracking. So shout out to SB. Thank you for being the first one in the chat to drop some love. Drew, before we get to the Loma thing, I got to ask you because the co-main, shockingly enough, was a women's fight, women's fighting. And Shernika Johnson, it turns out she was already a champion. Australia's Shernika Johnson. She doesn't get as much attention as the Blonde Bomber. Everybody seemed to know who the Blonde Bomber was. Shernika Johnson was already a champion, I found out, at 122, and she's coming down to bantamweight, regular bantamweight, to fight a 41-year-old Nina Hughes. And the craziest thing was that everybody's laughing at this announcer. I actually thought the announcer's voice was pretty good in Australia. I'm like, okay, he's doing his own thing. But the announcer, man, could that dude have made a bigger mistake in the biggest spotlight of his life? The announcer, if you guys haven't heard, announced the scorecards incorrectly and basically awarded the fight to Nina Hughes. That was unbelievable. There's the announcer in the background. He basically said Nina Hughes won when, in fact, the scorecards indicated Shernika Johnson won. That was one of the biggest screw-ups we've seen in boxing, True. And Nina Hughes, like anybody, I mean, I think she shed some tears. She thought she had won that. Shernika Johnson was obviously upset. Then she finds out she's the champ. But what do you make of this announcer fucking up the scorecard like that? Just even the announcement.
Shouldn't be able to fucking announce it again.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Nina came up short. Shernika Johnson now gets her second world title. Now she's the bantamweight champion, which I believe that's the same title that Blonde Bomber, who disappeared, has. So maybe now she'll be getting some recognition in Australia. And I think I read that she was open to rematching Nina Hughes. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, but like, tell you the truth, I didn't really pay attention too much to that fight. Like,
You was just
I was
waiting for
just,
that Loma fight.
yeah, like I watched the Mahoney fight. You know, I'll be honest with you, Mahoney, he really fucking like. I got robbed. No, he didn't. Tell you the truth, you let that fight slip away. Like, and then he said, "Oh," and then try to make an excuse that you fought with a torn bicep or something. Like, really, dude, come on now. If your thing was torn, why the fuck did you fight in the first place? You
Shout
made
out.
that
Uh huh.
choice. That's your issue. You let the fight slip away. He won the fight, and you said, "Oh, I'm gonna retire." Dude, you should retire because you don't need no crybaby bitches like you in the sport. Especially you do
Sheesh.
it in front of you do it in front of your own country. A
All right.
fucking disgrace. Fuck him. I'm sorry, but it is because if you were injured, don't fight. You should have never fought. That's your fault. I don't understand what motherfuckers trying to make excuses that they were injured the whole fucking time. You're injured, don't fight. It's that simple. Nobody's holding it against you. You're injured. You're injured. So what do you want us to do? What, like, pity you because you fucking fought injured? That's your fault.
All right, shout out to Chicano Prophet. We got a lot in store for you guys today. Obviously, we're going to talk about Lomachenko. Where does he go from here? You got Tank Davis wanting to fight him. You have an in-house fight that they're trying to keep Shakur Stevenson over at Top Rank. Let's get into his performance, but there's a lot I want to cover today, Drew. We had another death in the sport. Rest in peace to Sharif Lawal. We had a death in the sport of boxing again, which is we're going to segue into the latest with Ryan Garcia's PED usage hearing coming up, the May 22nd testing, and the fact that Devin Haney filed a lawsuit with one of the best attorneys. He has filed a complaint against, it looks like the New York State Athletic Commission, which is big news because a lot of us with common sense are wondering when that lawsuit was coming. It's coming, guys. He filed it today. That was breaking news. Luda Bella gets into it with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia attacking like the dirtiest, not Lomachenko, attacking Kambosos. Kick a man when he's down, Drew. Obviously, we have a tremendous fight this weekend to look forward. We have two tremendous fights, one in San Diego, California. Shout out to everybody in San Diego. And of course, wow, the Saudis doing what nobody thought that anybody could do. And we're going to get an undisputed heavyweight king at the end of this. By the way, Drew, did you see Fury's dad smashing some bloke with his forehead?
He smashing a member of Team Usyk in the forehead.
Man, oh man, I mean, if you guys didn't see this today, Tyson Fury's dad, a little bit too passionate, just up in everybody's face, smashing the skull of someone. And I was watching that in replay, Drew. That dude was minding his own business. He just kind of walked by him and just happened to be the guy that was there. He was like, oh shit.
I don't know. Lawsuit coming, I can say that for sure.
But you just don't do that. Surprisingly, there was no assault charges. Where was this?
I don't know. It was crazy sight.
All right, let's get into how in the world does Kambosos coming off 2 losses to Devin Haney, okay, coming off a gifted win to Maxie Hughes, how does he get a fight in his home country and drag Lomachenko down there? It didn't matter where he was going to fight him, dude. We said it last week. I said it. Unfortunately, to me, Kambosos is always going to be remembered as a one-hit wonder. And even then, I don't support Ryan Garcia attacking him and saying the stuff he said about his baby mama. What a fucking cheap shot, bro. What a cheap shot. The guy just lost a fight, and you're saying that you slept with his wife?
I think this was a way to benefit Loma, that he didn't have to do that much traveling after the fight to go to Riyadh. Because you expect him to be at the fight Saturday supporting Usyk.
Right.
So this wouldn't be that long of a plane ride. But I look at it like this: it was a gifted win for him fighting Maxie Hughes. Maxie Hughes outboxed him, and if you saw, like, I was watching that fight, and he was doing a lot of things because he was a southpaw. he was doing a lot of things that kept Kambosos at bay and really neutralized a lot of what Kambosos does well.
Yeah, by the
Which
way,
is
I saw Maxie Hughes fight. I just saw him fight against the Mexican El Camarón William Zepeda, man. And Maxie Hughes had nothing to offer William El Camarón Zepeda. So I mean, you just think about it. Camarón Zepeda, he would just smoke Kambosos and Maxie Hughes in the same night. But before we get on to the greatness of what Lomachenko did, and shout out to Chicano Prophet, he says it's time for Loma to be back on the pound for pound list. Drew,
oh, he is.
I'm telling you, man. Okay, obviously, Kambosos is Ludabella works for them, and Ryan Garcia said some despicable stuff on Mother's Day. Kicking, in my opinion, Kambosos when Kambosos was down. It started Sunday, yeah, and Ludabella responds, "Nice Mother's Day tweet, Ryan, and how Christian of you on a Sunday. What the fuck's wrong with you, son? This isn't the Ryan I knew and I was a fan of. He was a decent kid, not a lying, antagonizing, cheating, derelict piece of influencer. Shit, please get some help." Yeah, if you guys didn't hear, man, look, Kambosos lost. He's in Australia, but somehow Ryan says he slept with Kambosos' wife. It's like some new shit comes out of this dude's mouth every other day. And it's going to be like that, I think, Drew, right up until the time this May 22nd B samples are tested. They're just going to keep trying to like be in the news, be in the spotlight, and try to misdirect the narrative. And as I mentioned, the breaking news is Devin Haney's going to sue. And that all kind of takes away from the moment. The moment is Lomachenko is back, Drew. That performance was unreal. He stopped. Not that many people thought that he had it in him to still knock fools out. But here he did it. And I think you won some money on that, right? You're one of the few people.
I won money on that, but here's the thing. Not only he stopped him, he stopped the guy that's never been stopped in his career, but he finally won every round. Like the Kambosos only landed 40 punches in this fight. And there was 2 rounds in this fight that Kambosos have only landed once. 1 punch in that whole entire round.
Yeah,
twice.
It was probably worse than his performances against Devin Haney. They were awful. It was an awful performance. So much so that even people basically on social media went after Teofimo and were like, how did you lose to this guy? Teo, how did you lose to this guy? But he did. Teo lost to this guy.
And then he made excuses like, dude, you should have never fought then. You fought. That's your fault. You have no excuse why you lost. You lost to this guy. Like, I look at it like this. Like, after, like, I'm seeing, like, Tank treating off. Let me do a fight, then I'll fight him. Here's the thing. I'm seeing content creators. Couple that I like Blue Blood Sport. I like the dude. I watch him. I do watch his content sometimes, man. Good dude and everything. But to say fear exposed, saying that, and somebody said that fear exposed. How's like him saying he wants to go back to Ukraine, take some time with his family and everything, but they don't want to put up the sentence before that statement that I never ran from anybody in my career. Loma said, I never ran from anybody in my career. People ran from me. And Loma's never ducked anybody. If anybody, why are these guys not putting the fact that Tank been ducking Loma for years? And people want to say that, Tank's Loma's ducking Tank. But why about when Tank ducked Loma? And then before that statement that he wants to go back to the Ukraine with his family and everything, that he says, I never ducked anybody. I fought everybody that people wanted me to fight. I fought Devin Haney. I took a more dangerous Teofimo Lopez fight than a Devin Haney fight at the time. You guys wanted me to fight Wiggindale. I fought Wiggindale. I stopped him. I made him quit. You wanted me to fight Nicholas Waters. I made him quit. Like, The thing about it is, I think, people are just hating because this dude was put on a pedestal early in his career. And people are just trying to make something out of race or something and everything. But here's the thing. Speaks for itself. Tank ducked this dude.
And now Tank wants that smoke.
Tank doesn't want that. Here's the thing, Dave. I'll believe it when I see it. He can, like he said, he talked a lot of trash before he's going to fight, but like Shakur, has he fought Shakur yet?
Nah, let's talk about the landscape.
Has he fought Devin Haney yet when he was saying some shit about Devin Haney? Has he fought Devin Haney?
Nah, he ain't fought Devin Haney, he ain't fought Tank. There's a lot of people he ain't fought. He's going to have to unify these titles. Let's get to that landscape, though. Let's talk about that.
He just talks so much shit, and then, you still haven't fought these guys, so what's your point?
Shakur Stevenson is on his way out of Top Rank. Top Rank has his last fight. They're desperately trying to get some type of entice him to stick around. And the fight that makes the most sense, obviously, is going to be with a superstar like Lomachenko. But at the same time, we have Navarrete moving up from 130 to 135 this Saturday on ESPN against a very, in my opinion, kind of dangerous Barancek, because Navarrete really is a guy who started, I think, as low as 115 or 112, I was told today. He's won 3 world titles, 122, 126, 130. Now he's going for 135, Drew. He's pushing the envelope. But Navarrete versus Lomachenko is a great fight because we have not seen someone like Orlando Salido take on Lomachenko. We haven't seen that type of fight. And Orlando Salido has a win over him. Could Navarrete be that type of Orlando Salido fighter that, Lomachenko had problems against in his second career fight? Could that happen? That's all presuming Navarrete wins his fight this Saturday, which I think he will, but it's not going to be an easy road. Who do you pair him up with? Do you throw him against Navarrete first? Or do you throw Lomachenko against Shakur Stevenson because Shakur Stevenson's looking to be on his way out of Top Rank? What would you do as a matchmaker?
Look at it like this, Dave. If Navarrete gets past Barancek, which I think he does, but guys, if you want to put a bet on just a simple $5, $10 bet to see just for the hell of it, put a bet on Barancek and everything. Not hurt. But here's the thing. I think that this is something that favors Loma more against Navarrete. And I'm going to tell you what, he's the guy moving up in weight. And here's another thing, Dave. Navarrete has been through so many wars already. And that's the thing. He's been through so many wars. He hasn't fought a guy that moves like a mover like Loma. This is he fights guys that are in front of him. So if we're looking at it, it's a good fight. But I think Loma would stop Navarrete now.
Very interesting.
I think
very interesting.
Too many wars.
Well, Navarrete, I'm going to agree with you that the fight with Robson Constanchao, the Brazilian, was a draw. It ended in a draw. When he moved up to 130 against the Australian fighter, Navarrete got dropped for the very first time maybe in his whole entire professional career, but it was a shock to me. He came back to win that like the champion he is. I think this is the ceiling for Navarrete, and I'm excited to see him win this title on Saturday. But the fact of the matter is, I don't really favor him against Loma, Shakur, or Tank at 135. The fight I want to see is Navarrete versus William Zepeda.
I don't favor him against Zepeda.
I would love to see that fight, but if he's going to stay at Top Rank, I'm more than happy to see Navarrete fight Lomachenko. And then if Lomachenko can get an opportunity to unify with Shakur Stevenson, we're very close to getting an undisputed champion at lightweight all over again. Could it be Loma, though? Does Loma beat Tank at the end of the day if Tank's the last piece he needs?
I'll be honest with you. I think he does. I think he beats all these guys.
Now it says here, wow, Drew, it says 39 people were watching. Let's get those likes up. And if you're just, if you're lurking, drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this. Does Lomachenko beat Tank Davis?
I think he does, and I'm going to tell you why he beats Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a heavily flat-footed fighter. And here's the thing about Tank. Tank is a bad guy, is a fighter that is a heavy-footed, flat-footed fighter. That's not the type that goes and moves around the ring. He tries to take advantage of you in one spot, and he can box, but he's not a guy. He's not a mover. And the thing about it is, if you look at his resume, all the guys on his resume are guys that stood in front of him that want to bang with him. They're tailor made for Tank. All those guys are tailor made for Tank. Loma is not tailor made for Tank. Loma is a guy that's going to move angles and angles, going to stay in front of you, but he's going to give you angles, and he's going to hit you while he moves. And he's going to make you take away your best weapon moving forward. Tank is going to be forced to do something he has never do before. Fight moving on the back foot. And that's the one thing that Tank has not been tested yet doing. That has not been forced to fight on his back foot. Now, Loma is the guy that would compromise that and make him have to retreat. Because if he doesn't retreat, he's going to eat glove. He's going to get caught. So what's the ideal? What's that brain telling you to do? Back up, try to reset yourself. But what happens? Loma will go back close to you, to another side. You don't have the time to reset. That takes away Tank's momentum. That takes away Tank's rhythm. And Tank has to be on defense right away like this to stop that. But he leaves himself wide open right here to take a shot right there or to a body shot. Tank's going to is going to be on a defensive motion for most of that fight. And I don't think he can keep that up because Tank's going to be like this. I got to be a counterpuncher. I got to get something off.
Which Tank is one of the most devastating counterpunchers there is. I'm curious if Loma can even take that punch.
But here's the thing.
Loma's a natural He started his career at featherweight.
If you're backing up on your back foot and you're not used to doing it, what's that take away? Your ability to counterpunch. Because you're trying to defend yourself for that whole time, especially if you're facing a mover like Loma. And Tank hasn't fought that many southpaws in his career. So if you're facing a mover with good footwork like Loma, and he's trying to get you on one side, what are you going to do? What's your that takes away one of your best assets, the counterpunch. Like you see Saturday night, Kambosos was backing up. What that took away from him when he's backing up the whole time, backing straight up, his ability to counterpunch. And it left him open. And when he tried to counterpunch, he left himself open to get open from Loma to go to the other side and take another couple punches at him. That's how it's going to play out. And the thing about it is, Tank struggles against smaller guys closer to his height.
Does Loma struggle against Shakur Stevenson?
Here's the thing with Shakur Stevenson. Because there's a way for him to beat Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is a guy that's over defensive. He reminds me of a bigger Riegerdale. A guy that doesn't want to engage, a guy that takes one shot, he'll just want to back away and everything. But look at it like this. Shakur, he's not used to backing up either. Having to fight on the back foot. If he has to fight, he'll move away from you and not even engage. And what happens when you cut him off and he can't move no more? He has to force himself out. If Loma can get right inside right here, Shakur is a guy that likes to be at long range when fighting. You get him right here, the smaller guy can get right there with Shakur. Shakur's a sitting duck. He's open. He's a sitting duck. He can't get those long arms, those long reach arms around him. He ain't gonna be able to keep him off him. He has to be able to do what he's not used to doing. And we haven't seen Shakur done that yet. And the guys that he's willing to dominate against are guys that will stay in front of him, that will be willing to take a couple shots just to give a shot. And that's how it is. These guys are beatable. And Shakur, in that last fight with De Los Santos, Shakur had problems with him. Dude can move, had good footwork. And the dude was a southpaw. He couldn't fight him. And when the dude got punches on him, Shakur will retreat. Get a punch or two off, retreat. That's how it was. You can't do that against someone like Lomachenko, a guy with great footwork like that that's going to move. He's going to be on the defensive end the whole fight. It's people are going to realize this Loma has something that can compromise both these guys' best weapon. And tell you the truth, he can still fight. Loma can still pull that off now. This is probably a more determined Loma now to take this more seriously. This is his last shot.
No, most definitely. But now he finds himself a world champion all over again. Drew, the unofficial poll, shout out to Chicano Prophet, that S the Spiders in the house, and Nerd. The unofficial poll right now in the chat. Well, we got Chicano Prophet saying, I agree with Dave. Tank sparks out Loma at this point. This fight is way too late for Loma. And Nerd says, Loma's a great fighter, but let's get real. Tank is no Cambosos. This is a tough fight for both, but I got Tank. So that's unofficial, a little bit chatter going on in the chat, Drew. The way I see it, I think Loma does have a very competitive fight with Shakur Stevenson, but I think he passes. I think he gets by Navarrete. If they unify that title, they start there. He moves on to Shakur, which is in-house. And then finally, we see if Tank Davis wants that smoke. If Loma's got those 3 belts, if Loma gets past Shakur Stevenson, then, hey, it's about time. You have to go for undisputed. Tank can do something great with just one fight. He don't even have to fight everybody. He just has to fight Loma at the very end of that. I think that's all conceivable in the next, 9 months?
Depending on, here's the thing. Depending on if our Tank takes on one of the other champions, like if Tank was to take on Shakur, or Loma.
They're trying to bring Shakur over to PBC, right?
Yeah. Or, Loma, if he was to get this Navarrete fight in September and makes quick work of Navarrete's suicide miracle, he could probably fight again in December. And everything, there's be some slim chance he can fight again in December or January. So I would say 2025, you'll have a good chance of having an undisputed champion at 135 again.
Yeah, we could definitely at the end of September see a quick turnaround, providing Navarrete doesn't take too much damage or doesn't get hurt in this Baranchek fight this Saturday. I could foreseeably see a fight late September, early October, to unify the title that he's about to pick up and unify the title that Loma has. That all remains to be seen if Navarrete wins this coming Saturday, Drew. There's some really, really good fights this weekend, man. I can't believe just alone on that Tyson Fury Usyk card, how many good fights there are, including this one that I'm very excited about. But Jai Apatai, the Australian cruiserweight, this dude is a beast. He had his jaw broken in the Myers Brady's fight, the first one, and they're finally going to run it back. He's 39 years old. They're going to run this one back. Is this the co-main? What am I missing? Because
this is the co-main.
Okay, that's the co-main. This card is crazy, yo. All the fights on that one. Let me just bring up the card here. Did you see Kovalev is on this card?
Yeah, he's on the card too. I think he's defending his cruiserweight belt.
This is crazy. How did he get a cruiserweight belt? When did that happen? When did that happen? Kovalev is a cruiserweight champion?
He's been a champion for a year almost.
So the other champion that I'm well aware of, obviously, is Zurdo Ramirez. Those are 2 really big names, and Kovalev and Zurdo Ramirez, both former either lightweight champions or super
Okada is
middleweight.
the literal champion.
That's fucking crazy.
And here's the fucked up thing. Why couldn't this be for the WBO belt that you stripped him of? He's fighting the dude now. Why can this should be for a vacated belt?
Yeah, it says here cruiserweight contest, but I don't see a title on that. Kovalev versus Safar. Obviously, Joe Cordina, he just picked up that IBF belt, which is very interesting. That's going to be a great fight on that card as well. I mean, it just seems like it's going to be a full day of fights starting May 18th in the afternoon.
Frank Sanchez is on the card.
That's right, Frank Sanchez.
Fighting the dude that upset at that other guy from Top Rank.
That's right. I seen this guy fight recently on that Riyadh season. Kabayel. That's a great heavyweight fight. Kovalev, we mentioned Kovalev, and obviously, you know, we're all going to keep our eye on this Opatai because Zurdo Ramirez, he's a new champion. And as much as I hate to talk about it, Jake Paul claims to be a legitimate cruiserweight. He's blowing up the heavyweight in his fight, but he's really a cruiserweight. It would be an honor for him to get a fight with any of those real champions and get his ass beat and get his ass knocked out. If he's serious, if he calls himself a real boxer, right? These are the three guys he should be aspiring to fight. Kovalev, Jai Alpatai obviously would murder him in the ring, or Zurdo Ramirez. But from what I'm hearing today, did you hear this? Who is announced to be on the Mike Tyson undercard?
Oh, Manny Serrano versus Katie Taylor?
Yo, that's a co-main. Chavez Jr. is back, Drew, at 190 pounds. Chavez Jr. is on the card on Netflix. You're going to get to watch that for free. Mark my words, win, lose, or draw against Mike Tyson, Chavez Jr. is next for Jake Paul. That's what it is. That's why he's on the card.
I don't know. I still think Kovalev would destroy him.
Yeah, and Kovalev is nearly that. Man, come on, Kovalev versus. It's very likely that Mike Tyson at 57 years old is going to murder him. It's crazy.
And he's an underdog, so you know that's a good bet to take.
Yeah, obviously. Guys, before we talk about Ring of Fire and this upcoming card, which we kind of got into, I just wanted to remind everybody that we unfortunately had another death in the sport of boxing. And actually, these are two deaths in the span of 30 days. Sharif Lawal, he's a middleweight, and this happened in the UK, Drew. He died, I think, after the fourth round, after taking a shot to the temple. They tried to resuscitate him and do CPR, and he was pronounced dead at the hospital. So we send our condolences to him and his family. Sadly, another death. And even Tyson Fury commented on this today, you know. This is why I've been so passionate about the PED scandal and all PED scandals, because this sport is deadly enough. And there's very little testing. It's not like they tested Lawal, this person who passed away, or his opponent, because they don't test these undercard fights. I mean, really, you have to be ranked by the WBC. You have to be ranked by one of the sanctioning bodies, and then, or a title fight, or the main event, or the co-main. Other than that, there's very little testing, and people die in the sport of boxing all the time. It's the most brutal, deadly sport there is, which is why I'm so passionate against people using PEDs, because it's already deadly enough, let alone you get somebody who's a heavy-handed puncher and is on PEDs. You turn them into a killer. They use this word, I'm going to kill you too much. Like, I mean, Jake Paul is talking about killing or murder. He's using words like that to describe what he's going to do to Mike Tyson. You could do without saying that word.
I look at it like this. Like, this is why, you know, here's the thing. Ryan Garcia, maybe this all makes it better if you make an example out of him. I think he should be banned for life. He should be banned from the sport forever. I don't think he should be able to ever box again if he has all that shit in him. He apparently has more shit than Jarrell Big Baby Miller had in him. So, and then he makes a joke out of it. Yeah, Devin Haney couldn't defend against a simple left hook. He had his part in it, but at the same time, you shouldn't be doped up the fight. And he takes this as a joke. He doesn't take the sport seriously. So why do you entertain this? You do? You make an example out of them. Once that B sample comes out and it comes out positive, this why we're not going to talk. The B sample came out, you're positive, you're suspended, and you're banned for life. You're done. We're going to make an example out of you, you're banned for life. You have no, sympathy for what you've done. You have no remorse, knowing that you could possibly have killed somebody. God forbid you tried to, that you didn't do it, and everything. It's Ryan Garcia is a disgrace to this sport, and it should have nothing to do with this sport. And I've been saying this for the past 2 years. He should not be part of this sport. Every day is another reason why Ryan Garcia should not have nothing to do with boxing. And it's a shame when you have his promoter that does not put his foot down when the dude talks bad about you, the one that's supposed to get him the fights and everything. You fail to talk shit about him. You fail to make it a point that, hey, I'm your promoter. I'm the one that makes your fights. I'm the one that gets you paid. What I could do, if I really wanted to, I could put you against the worst motherfucker in the world to knock you the fuck out and end your career like that and just cash out on you. But now, we know this is why, and plus the other reason why you banned him, his MO now. He's just going to miss weight and try to exercise an A side and not give a fuck about it. And that's not boxing. Boxing is not about clear advantages over somebody. If you can't fight the guy on an even playing field, you're a fucking coward. Straight up. So,
Drew, I want to just remind everybody, if you guys didn't hear today, the breaking news was that Devin Haney himself is lawyered up and has had his attorney, Pat English, one of the finest sports attorneys, send an 8-page complaint to the New York State Athletic Commission's top 2 directors, chief medical officer, and lead attorney, offering precedent for the move for disqualification. And his detailed request is justified. He said such a ruling would establish Haney as the winner of the bout, not just a participant in an event with no outcome. So they're seeking a disqualification on Ryan Garcia.
Not going to happen.
Which is kind of, it's kind of bold. They're looking for what Lucien Boutet received. Quote, they say there's a blemish on Mr. Haney's record, English wrote in the letter. He was placed in an unsafe fight under the New York State Athletic Commission jurisdiction. The bout was made a mockery, and in addition to the PED use and prohibited use of IVs, we mentioned it, we showed it last week, that Ryan Garcia was seen with IVs in the documentary on DAZN leading up to the fight. He goes on and says, after the bout, Mr. Garcia admitted that missing weight was a tactic to give him an unfair advantage. Again, later on, they say here, they just reminded everybody that... He says, by pushing New York to discipline Garcia beyond converting the outcome to a no contest, Attorney English wrote that it has been done before in Olympic sports. And in the case of boxer Lucien Boutet, when he tested positive for Osterine in 2016, why is it here? English noted that both fighters vowed not to use such substances while agreeing to Olympic-style drug testing by VADA in their fight contracts, while also signing a commission document in which they agreed that they had not used banned substances. All right, so they signed some kind of document. That really complicates things for Ryan Garcia there.
But here's the other thing. When he said, he used his weight, he used the go overweight doesn't get an advantage. That doesn't do shit because, tell you the truth, you still agreed to fight him with him overweight by 3 pounds. And the thing about it is, when you both rehydrated, you both were practically the same weight. So that part it doesn't really make sense. That's out the fucking question. And the thing about it is, it's not gonna be a disqualification. At most, this fight it gets ruled a no contest, and that's it. And that's how it should be. The fight should be ruled a no contest. You get a disqualification, well, tell you the truth, you didn't really do shit for yourself skill-wise to get that disqualification. So you ain't getting that shit.
Dude, straight up, shout out to Sin City Syndicate. If I'm the attorney for Devin Haney, I want damages. I want damages to my brand. You ruined my brand. I was undefeated, and you ruined my brand. Now everybody's going to remember me on the fucking floor looking shell-shocked when I got knocked down numerous times. You damaged my brand. I am suing you for all the money you wagered, the $12 million. I'm going to sue you for a portion of that purse too. But you straight up won $12 million by wagering on yourself because you knew that you were on PEDs, because you admitted that you were coming in 3.2 pounds overweight as a tactical advantage. Man, I'm going to ask for a fucking lot of money, and we'll see where the chips fall in a settlement, man. But that's what I would do.
Now, when it comes to the casino betting and everything, that's a whole different story. That's the casino bet sites.
Yeah, the casino has a right to sue him.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. I bet you anything. As soon as these hearings begin and they find some kind of judgment against Ryan Garcia, whether it's that it was unintentional or intentional, then the casinos are going to come after him and be like, "Yo, we got grounds now to sue you for that money back. We want that money back." Hello, Mom Food. Nice to see you, Mom Food. We're just talking about all this scandal. But listen, I'm ready to move on. May 22nd is that B sample testing. They're going to open up that sample. Until then, the New York State Athletic Commission, they don't even have a hearing date. So, I mean, we could ramble on about it. We can talk about Ryan Garcia every week and his antics. People who like Ryan Garcia love him no matter what. They like all the shit. He says the most disgusting things. He tells George Kambosos, "I slept with your wife on Mother's Day." I mean, people are eating this shit up. What are we're going to do? We can't do shit about it, right, Drew? All right. Drew, let's get into something more exciting. This weekend, we're finally, okay, we just had the Ukrainian, Lomachenko pull it off again, become champion again. But now it's Usyk's turn, man. The former undisputed cruiserweight champion has the potential to be the undisputed heavyweight champ of the world. We haven't had one of those in over 20 years.
This is history. You know why? Whoever wins this will be the very first undisputed heavyweight champion in the full belt era.
That's right. There's definitely history to be made. And quite honestly, if Usyk wins this fight, and please, hey, Sin City Syndicate, if you have the most current odds, let me know what the Usyk odds versus Tyson Fury are. Drew, do you know them?
Plus 100 for Usyk, minus 100 for Fury.
Dude, that is a close. That's not even worth betting. Is there a prop on that? Is there?
I bet it on the props on this fight. I bet it $10 that Fury wins by split decision to win $85 if you bet 10. I bet it $10 on Usyk getting knocked down and Fury winning by decision, which wins the $85 too. So,
well, I haven't been lucky at all. I haven't been lucky at all. You said you were lucky this weekend, right, with the Loma bet?
Yeah, I betted a couple of Loma preps and got me $60 out of it.
Very good. All right, let's talk about this fight, man. Usyk did the unthinkable and beat Anthony Joshua not once, Drew, but twice. Tyson Fury nearly got his ass beat and dropped by Francis Ngannou, a former UFC champion. Some sources say he didn't even take this guy serious. He didn't even get off the couch to literally train. And to me, that's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he really didn't even have a training camp. He just thought he was gonna beat Ngannou off, the strength of his boxing IQ or his, and he was shocked. He was in for a world of shock when Ngannou clocked him. So obviously he's been training, Drew. He's very lean for Tyson Fury. Usually that means still having love handles, Drew, but his legs are really skinny. His upper body is particularly thin. And I'm wondering if that's going to help him at all, because Usyk can move, Lomachenko can move, and Usyk can move. And Usyk used that great movement to defeat Anthony Joshua.
Here's the thing. Fury can move too. I never thought I would pick against Usyk in this fight, but I am. It's a really close fight. It's a really close fight. I just think Fury is going to pull it off. They're both boxers. They're both great boxers. I just think Fury can slightly pull it off a little bit. He's an very underrated counterpuncher.
True.
And he can fight on the back foot. He can actually fight mid-range, close, long range. Usyk's the guy, he's like Lomachenko a little bit. That can go side by side and everything. That can go dip in, get out the reset and everything, which can cause Fury a little bit of trouble at first until Fury, and be up to Fury to adjust to the movement and everything. But I would think this is going to be more like a 7-5, 8-4 affair. But I really think that it's just going to probably be a split decision. And it's going to be more like, hey, we got the rematch clause, so we need to do this again.
So I'm thinking split decision. Usyk pulls this off, Drew, via decision, but that one of the judges does give it to Tyson Fury. I was on the round table. Shout out to the round table on there with Steve Kim of the 3 knockdown rule earlier, and of course Michael Montero for Ring Magazine. Great panel today. I thought everybody was going to pick Usyk, and surprisingly, Joe Habib, Drew, is riding with Tyson Fury. We got Nerd here on the panel saying, I'm riding with the Gypsy King. I said, and I do agree with what Michael Montero, I think there's a strong possibility that what we saw with Daniel Dubois hurting Usyk, and Daniel Dubois in any other situation, had it been his home country, I think maybe Daniel Dubois could have got the nod that was a stoppage win against Usyk, right? Remember that? He hurt Usyk to the body badly. If I'm Tyson Fury, I am going to target the body of Usyk. Not only am I going to be looking for that, I'm going to be looking for a sneaky uppercut as he comes in and he's changing levels up and down. I'm going to be looking for that nasty, sneaky uppercut that Tyson Fury, like you mentioned, Drew, people do underrate him as a counterpuncher, but can he still counterpunch at his age? And he's been inactive here and there. The Ngannou fight didn't bode well for him.
Here's the thing with Usyk. Usyk's the type, if you look at, Usyk has his hands up like this most of the time when he's trying to measure you with his jab. He uses the jab as a punching tool, but he also uses it as a measuring tool too, to measure to see what he can do with it and everything. But he's normally in this stance and everything. If he goes closer, right here could be open. If he doesn't get there in time, Fury can get an uppercut in like that. Or Fury can get a jab in like that. Thing about it is, Usyk would then see that, hey, it's getting through. Usyk covers up like this. Like that, or you can go for the body. But Fury's not known to be a body puncher like that. And that's where Fury has to be on point with his footwork and everything, his movement. And when Usyk starts getting on the defensive a little bit, that's where you get on your footwork and everything. You start attacking his body and everything. He's going to be in that somewhat semi-peekaboo stance and everything. Once you're getting headshots in on him or punching at him, and he's blocking and everything. That's how something you could take advantage of Usyk and neutralize his footwork and his movement and everything. But Usyk's tale of victory a little bit, or to get on the advantage, mate, you can get inside. You can get inside a little bit, or try to stay at that mid-range point. But you got to constantly move. Get your jab, get a 1-2 off, move to the one side or move to his weak side and everything. Force Fury to move with you. Move to the side he doesn't want to move to and everything. You keep having Fury move to a side he doesn't move to, it's at your advantage and you're going to get punches off, and Fury's not going to get the full blast of the punch he wants. He's going to get a punch off, but it's not going to get the full blast power that he'll have of his dominant hand. And that's how Usyk can neutralize Fury. Both guys have keys to how to neutralize the other. And so if the guy's willing to use his tools to neutralize their best attributes. So,
Drew, how do you get past the fact that Otto Wallin, a much smaller fighter, someone who's actually about the size of Usyk, 6'3", then you got former cruiserweight champion Cunningham, who moved up and fought Tyson Fury many, many years ago, had incredible success. How can you see Tyson Fury getting over that? He has trouble with smaller, agile fighters in his career.
Here's the thing. I didn't think he had too much trouble with Otto. I thought he won the fight 9-3. The only thing that gave him trouble was the cut over his head. Other than that, he won 9 rounds in that fight. Steve Cunningham, he's fighting a much younger Fury, more inexperienced. And the guy, if you look at it, he was doing good. He got the knockdown on Fury. But here's the problem. You let the bigger guy get you to the ropes and it neutralizes your movement, your footwork. You're at the ropes, you're a sitting duck. That's what done Steve Cunningham in. He let Fury take him to the ropes and he was a sitting duck. That's another thing Usyk cannot afford to do. Let him take him to the ropes. He has to keep this fight in the middle of the weight as much as possible. He needs to not let Fury be the big man, put his arm over his head to tie him out. The old Klitschko move. Fury does that too sometimes. Takes advantage of his height and weight and everything. Usyk has to keep this in the center of the ring. He has to be able to use this, have a circle, but stay away from the ropes and the corners. That's Usyk's point right there. Fury gets him on the ropes, it's all Fury right there. That's another thing. If Usyk can stay inside, he's in good shape. But that's half the battle. The other battle is he's got to use his footwork to get to Fury's weak side to be able to do damage and everything. That's another battle. And for Fury, you get him on the ropes to be the bigger man, to compromise, to get shots off, or you become an effective counterpuncher and force Usyk, and have Usyk come in and nail him when he's open right there, or force him to make moves and everything. You got to force him. And I believe both guys can do that to each other. But it all depends on which one is going to do it the most and do it first. Because this is a fight that who gets control of the fight right away, it'll be the clear-cut favorite to come out and win this fight.
Chicano Prophet wants to know, when's the last time Fury fought a mover with this much of a gas tank?
I'm gonna say last time. I'm actually gonna say Otto Wallin. I think that's the last time he's fought a mover, fought a somewhat of a boxer. Otto Wallin, like Wallin. Here's the thing. Otto Wallin couldn't do nothing to actually threaten Fury to hurt him. Now, you got the cutoff, but that's about it. That's probably a headbutt. But Usyk, he has that sneaky power that he don't have to be super powerful, but if he nails you the right point at the right time, that shit could have hurt. So it is what it is.
Drew, I forgot to mention the Maloney brothers had another tough go. The other brother losing his world title. Shockingly, a lot of people did not agree with those scorecards. He lost it to a Mexican that came over to his backyard.
No, that he didn't get robbed. He let that fight slip away. That's his fault.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
He lost that fight.
Both brothers lose their titles in the same week. Unfortunately. a major setback for both of them, but I do enjoy watching both of them fight. This card, like I said, man, this card Saturday night is stacked. I definitely want to get back together with you and look at some DraftKings prop bets and whatnot, because there's a lot of action. Not to mention, we didn't even barely touch the Navarrete fight. I didn't even ask you, but do you think it's a sure win Navarrete upsets this Ukrainian fighter, Baranchek?
I'm leaning maybe 80-20 Navarrete.
Yeah, this is Saturday. This card is stacked. I believe Giovanni Santillán is on that. I just want to confirm that, but Giovanni Santillán, there's a lot of news and shakeup in the welterweight world. Boots Ennis and Crowley, that's under full. That's a full go, Drew. The press conferences are lit, man. That's very exciting. Obviously, Giovanni Santillán, who beat the crap out of Rocha, he puts himself in good position to either be fighting somebody like, he could be fighting Boots Ennis somehow eventually. That would be great for him. Or El Azteca that we just saw fight too. There's a lot of exciting things going on in the welterweight division. Tailgate talk. Yeah. Football season's coming back. Obviously, the draft season, they've done the draft picks. There's a lot to talk about. Nerd wants to know, when was the last time Usyk fought a giant that can move, has a long jab, high ring IQ, ambidextrous, and with decent punch power? Oh, he has the showmanship too.
Yeah, realize if you look at it like this is the biggest guy he's going to fight. If you look at the heavyweight fighters that he fought, Chaz Witherspoon, Darius Chisora, Anthony Joshua, Trice, Daniel Dubois, that's his heavyweight resume.
Not bad. There. Not too shabby.
Like, Anthony Joshua, he's more of a, tell you the truth, can you say athlete first type of guy than boxer? Like, his gas tank wasn't there. And he got outboxed both times by Usyk. And he won, and Usyk beat him handily both times. This is a totally different machine. So I think Fury needs this more than Usyk does. Because this cements Fury's legacy. This makes him the best heavyweight of his era. This gives him all the credentials of a Hall of Fame career if he wins this fight. Being the first full belt era undisputed heavyweight champion. If Usyk wins this, Usyk's the best, can put himself as possibly one of the best, not the best fighter of this generation.
That's crazy. We're going to be debating this on Monday for sure, but we're going to do one more show this week, guys. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Give us a like if you don't mind. Make sure you even hit that notification so you know when we're coming back live this week. We'll be running some prop bets and looking at the DraftKings for both of these fights coming up this Saturday, Drew. Like you said, Usyk wins this on Monday. We're debating him. There's like no debate. He's pound for pound number one in the fucking world. Pound for pound. If Tyson Fury wins, all the shit in his career that has looked bad, the doping scandal, because he was busted for PEDs himself, the long activity gaps where he stopped fighting, the mental health breaks, the Deontay Wilder fights. Yeah, I mean, like all those bad things just get erased instantaneously. There'll be some, as they say, history revision, history revisionist to his career. Both of these guys stand a lot to lose this weekend. But I think, honestly, man, I think Usyk is going to ride away with putting himself in the history books. But it's still up for debate. Still up for debate, guys. I'm Dave in the 702 Shoeshine Boxing. Thank you so much for joining us. Drew, any final words?
Not half you can think of.
All right, man. We'll see you guys later this week. We appreciate you. We'll be back. Peace out, everybody.